Hey guys, welcome back to a new video. I'm Stephanie West. I'm a licensed counselor here in the state of Michigan, and I am owner and operator of In Progress Counseling. Today we're going to talk about anxiety, fear, and uncertainty, and what can happen when we have kind of a global shift going on or a global uncertainty going on, and it presents as a local preoccupation or a local anxiety. So up on the board here, I don't know that it's the best visual. Often I'll actually draw it like as an umbrella, and then the different pathways under the umbrella are going to be the local fears. But over here we have the word global, and up here we have uncertainty. And so global uncertainty means maybe something in my life is shifting, maybe something is really unsettled, perhaps I'm going through an adjustment period, but typically uncertainty and fear can often hold hands with one another. So when I have a pervasive dis-ease going on, it could be something existential, it could be, grappling with purpose and meaning, it could be fear of death, it could be sudden loss, it could be a big trust rupture. When that's happening at the global level of my life, I am experiencing a kind of a low-grade distress across the board. But typically we can't deal in the abstract global piece. And so a lot of times things will localize, and they will localize in really entrenched patterns that kind of pre-exist the uncertainty. So for example, one of my most entrenched local pathways is financial fixation. And there's a lot of reasons why that's in my story, but it's a well-entrenched worry to the tune of like 25 years at this point. So if I have a seismic shift in my life, typically that global dis-ease is going to be most evident by me just hyper fixating on financial uncertainty. Now, it's not because finances are actually affected in that moment. I mean, they might be, but that's where my brain typically goes, because when there's distress up here, I try to grab onto control somewhere. And you think of finances, it's very numerical, it's very math driven, it's inputs and outcomes and all of the things. And so it's a local place where I try to exert control. Environmental management, when I notice that I'm managing my environment, I'm like frantically cleaning or purging. There's a global distress, and my way of responding to it, or my way of sorting through it, or even my way of avoiding it, is locally fixating on environmental management. Other local pathways that a lot of my clients will experience are things like fixating on their relationship. Maybe they become hypercritical, really uncertain, really angsty, or really even, I'm going to say needy. I mean, we do have needs, but suddenly there's this helplessness that shows up. There's this perception of vulnerability that shows up. When we see those behaviors in a local way, we can often wonder, is there something globally happening? So fixations on physical health. This one shows up quite often with people who aren't really maybe in tune with their emotions, or they don't like their emotions, they don't hold their emotions well. And so suddenly they're fixating on, hey, I have this malady happening, what is that? And they really try to put a lot of emphasis and control in that particular area of life. And often it's a byproduct of a global dis-ease that's going on. Focusing on kids, so really kind of funneling all your energy in on the kids. Maybe you're getting more critical, maybe you're getting more just insistent that things look a certain way, or that kids perform a certain way, or that kids behave a certain way. And there's this fixation, this little modicum of control we're trying to exert right here, because there's a global distress or dis-ease going on. For some, like I said, it might be finances. For some, it's just that, okay, but I have to watch the news incessantly. I have to respond to what's going on around me. I have to kind of fixate and ruminate on things that sometimes they don't even, put a blip on my radar. But right now I'm so like, what's happening in politics, or what's happening in local government, or what's happening, in local schools. And suddenly all my energy is taking a local pathway where I'm trying to practice some control, feel a modicum of control, because there's a global distress or uncertainty happening. This is really great for each of us to track down, what are my local pathways? Because once they're activated, it often gives us insight into like, oof, something in me is unsettled right now. I'm experiencing something possibly at the global level of my life, something existential, something where I'm having trust issues or there's been a trust rupture. Maybe there's a grief going on that's so big in my life. There's a loss, there's a anticipation of loss, there's a shift in my environment, there's a shift in my lifestyle pattern, there's something I'm looking forward to. Even that can be a catalyst for really localized anxietizing because there's global uncertainty. So that's what we want to invite in today. If you see yourself engaging in fixation on a local pathway, often we can span out and say, hey, I wonder if something bigger is going on here, and it's presenting in this little slice of distress, but perhaps there's something bigger at play. That's our invitation for today. Do you know your local pathways? Consider when you're most disrupted, most dysregulated, most uncertain, what do you tend to fixate on? Because that can help us track down a local worry when you're having more global distress.